The Old Man and the Sea, part 15, still part 15. Because of my great digression, I couldn't read much, and I have already divided here, so I wouldn't want to call part 16. It would mess up all of my lists. Okay, that's not important. The important thing is I'm going to start from the top, from the beginning. So basically, you could have ignored the last video. He shipped his oars and brought a small line from under the bow. It had a wire leader and a medium-sized hook, and he baited it with one of the sardines. He let it go over the side and made it fast to a ring bolt in the stern. Then he baited another line. And left it coiled. Remember from our other videos, in the shade of the bow. He went back to rowing and to watching the long-winged blackbird who was working now low over the water. As he watched the bird dipping again, slanting, remember his slant inclination, right? His wings for the dive, and the swinging. Oh, sorry, I think I got myself lost here. Dipped again, slanting his wing for the dive, and then swinging them wildly and ineffectually as he followed the flying fish. So again, keep in mind, you have to picture those things. You have to picture this bird, flying after the flying fish. The old man could see the slight bulge in the water. If I have bulging biceps, I don't have bulging biceps, I have fat biceps, but I could have bulging biceps. Let me... Can you see it? It's bulging, okay? Let's imagine you are on the bus and you can see the bulge on a guy's pants. Don't be close to that guy, don't be near him. That's my suggestion. Here's the surface of the water and the dolphins are swimming here, right? Even though the dolphins are below the surface of the water, as they move there is a bulge in the water, right? The old man could see the slight bulge in the water that the big dolphin raised as they followed the escaping fish. The dolphins were cutting through the water below the flight of the fish and would be in the water driving at speed when the fish dropped. Stop the video, try to understand this by yourself, and then play it again. So, here we have the dolphin, swimming under the water, and the flying fish are trying to escape, So the dolphins are following, the flying fish from under. When the flying fish, because remember, flying fish cannot just fly forever, they cannot go to the top of a mountain and perch there. They'll have to fall into the water again, and when they do, the dolphins will be exactly where they are going to fall and will catch them. Stop the video, read the passage again if you have a problem. When the fish dropped. It is a big school of dolphin, he thought. Okay, I have to tell you. A big school of dolphin, not dolphins, alright? You will see, guys, that it's a kind of tendency in English, even though you can say dolphins, but it's a kind of big tendency in English for fish to be uncountable. Not uncountable, have irregular plurals, right? Keep in mind we say one fish, two fish, three fish, okay? That's why you see throughout the book many fish being described as fish or dolphin, even though you have more. Remember, school is the collective of fish. They are widespread, and the flying fish have little chance because there are many dolphins and they widespread. So wherever the flying fish fall, probably there will be a dolphin there close to to them, and they're going to get caught. They are widespread, and the flying fish have little chance. The bird has no chance. The flying fish are too big for him, and they go too fast. He watched the flying fish burst out again and again, and the ineffectual movement of the bird. That school has gotten away from me, he thought. They are moving out too fast and too far. But perhaps I will pick up a stray, and perhaps my big fish is around them. My big fish must be somewhere. I don't know if you know stray from the expression stray dog. A stray dog is a dog that doesn't have a home, because a stray is something like this. Imagine you are hiking, walking for sport with a bunch of friends, and they are much better physically speaking than you, so the group is already there and you are behind, so you are a stray hiker. Okay. Keep in mind that that's the big strategy for, I don't know, a lion, for example. Jesus, things are falling here by themselves. For example, lions in Africa, right? They look up for stray zebras or young zebras, old zebras, right? It's much easier to catch a stray than to catch, you know, any animal from the group. I will pick up a stray, and perhaps my big fish is around them. My big fish must be somewhere. The clouds over the land now rose like mountains, and the coast was only a long green line with grey-blue hills behind it. The water was dark purple now, so dark that it was almost purple. I said a dark purple, dark blue now, so dark that it was almost purple. As he looked down into it, into the water, and here comes another image. I really would like you to stop the video and try to imagine. I'll give you the words, but I would like you to try to picture the thing. Picture in opposition to just understand. As he looked down into it, he saw a red sifting. Let's imagine you are going to make a cake, and probably you are going to need a sieve. You have the flour, you know, the white substance there, and you want to avoid lumps, you know, like big chunks of flours that stick together. So you get this object that is full of small holes, let's say it. You put the flour here and you do something like this, and the flour falls from the sieve. This is the sieve, very fine, okay, very fine flour. Okay, so what am I doing with this sieve here? I'm sifting, right? Plankton, you know, the very small tiny creatures whales eat, right? The red sifting of the plankton in the dark water and the strange light the sun made now. Okay, stop the video, try to understand it. Okay, going back. Red sifting of the plankton. So it means that the plankton was sifting something, or the plankton was sifted by somewhere. But what is it like? It's kind of hard. Now imagine going back to us making a cake. So you are sifting. This is the sieve. The sieve is here, okay? Imagine the sieve is here, and you are sifting flour. As you are sifting flour, you can see it fall, you know, with very small specks. Very small specks, you know, it's falling here. Now you get that image and imagine the sun hitting the water. This is the surface of the water, you know, and the sun is coming here. You see lots of planktons, you know, and as if, you know, somebody is sifting something. Look, I've got to tell you, I don't think I have ever seen an image like that I can search. I think that's going to be a very nice exercise, but I haven't done. But I don't need to realize how beautiful this image is, you know. And then I don't know if you've realized that, but a big part of the narrator's energy will be showing us this kind of beautiful ocean life, you know, a little bit like a Life of Pi, you know that movie. I don't know if it's The Life of Pi or Life of Pi. You really should watch it if you haven't. It's by that Chinese director Ang Lee, which is a great director, by the way, but that's not the point. But you should also watch other movies by Ang Lee. So just like in the movie, you know, you are following the adventures of the guy and the tiger and etc. I'm not going to give up spoilers if you haven't watched it, but you see that the director throughout the movie stops in many occasions to show us some beautiful things, you know. And this is what Hemingway does, a little bit like Western, you know, like the classical Western. You know, there's this guy, he's going to this shootout, and but while he's riding his horse, you know, he's riding his horse here, clomp, 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 right? The camera pulls out and shows you a beautiful landscape with mountains and etc. And sometimes, you know, the rider goes and the camera lingers there for some more time, you know, because it wants to show you something beautiful. That's the purpose of Hemingway here, or at least of the narrator. Okay, so we have this red sifting of the plankton in the dark water and the strange light the sun made now. He watched his lines to see them go straight down out of sight into the water, and he was happy to see so much plankton because it meant fish. I have to stop here one more time. This part 15, I think it will be 3 videos. Even, guys, let's imagine sifting. I don't know if the dictionary defines like that, but let's imagine the dictionary defines it as an expression. Sifting could be a large, it doesn't, but let's imagine it could be a large quantity of something spread all over. Let's imagine now you have a dictionary giving you this definition. A very nice and important exercise if you want to be a good speaker of any language, even of Portuguese. It's very interesting to have the literal, you know, the concrete image in order to understand the more abstract ones, you know. It will give the words much more power, right? If you want to check out what I'm talking about, just look in the channel for Out on a Limb, or okay, Out on a Limb, I won't remember the others. Taking a Step Back, I think I have made a video about that, you know. I've realized that sometimes it's difficult to localize in the channel, so if you don't know how to find those things, just type Thiago Kondajewski and Out on a Limb, right? Limb you spell L-I-M-B, right? Okay, but I'm just mention that video so that you know that it's important to get the literal, the concrete idea. Okay, it's very important to do so. So imagine his lines, you know, going straight down until you can't see the line anymore. They go out of sight. It meant fish. The strange light the sun made in the water now that the sun was higher meant good weather, and so did the shape of the clouds over the land. But the bird was almost out of sight now, and nothing showed on the surface of the water but some patches of yellow sun-bleached sargasso weed and the purple formalized iridescent gelatinous lots of interesting words, right? Gelatinous bladder of a Portuguese man of war floating close beside the boat. This is another one of those parts that we look and say, what the, right? I think I'll have to start another video because this batch, sunbleach, sargasso, weed, iridescent, gelatinous, bladder, Portuguese man of war, there are a lot. So bear with me and go to the next video.